Hello everyone, my name is Basma Khalifa. I am a fashion stylist, director, filmmaker, and journalist. And I'm here to give you some tips about how I've kind of come to where I've come to and how you guys can probably do the same. So, tip number one, I always say that you should take time to get to know yourself. So, find out who you are and what you like. Before I made my first documentary, I decided to take a full 2 years to sort of figure out who I was, what my messaging was, and what I cared about. When you're in the hustle and bustle of life and you're working for a corporation of some sort, sometimes you forget who you are because it's so linked to them and their ethos. So when I went freelance, I decided that I just need to figure out who I was, and actually that helped loads because then when I came to making the doc, I was like, oh, I've got a bit of an idea of who I am now. So that's tip number one. Tip number two, so do your research. I spend so much time watching things because I want to make documentaries. And how do I know what kind of documentary I love if I don't look into who I am as a person and how that works on TV? So I'll watch a lot of documentaries and I'm like, oh, I like that. I really like this. I really like that. And I reading loads. Admittedly, I struggle to read a bit, but when I started to read and just read articles and features online, I was like, oh, I understand that messaging and I kind of think it's true as well. Or actually, let me write about what I feel about this topic. So I definitely say that reading and watching, do your research. So, tip number three, and I wish I kind of would have done this earlier, don't be afraid to be open about who you are. I think I spent a lot of time sort of not talking about my dreams because I was always worried that someone else would sort of, take the idea or want to be me, if that makes sense. But I always was a bit scared of just sounding a bit foolish. I'd never done TV before, I'd never written before, I'd never directed before. And I didn't want people to be like, oh, this girl, like, who does she think she is? And that stopped me from even talking about what I wanted for about a year, maybe. As soon as I started talking about what I wanted, the gates opened. And suddenly people were like, oh, yeah, I can help you with this. Oh, yeah, well, let me connect you with this person. Let me talk to this person. If I hadn't done that, I'd probably still be doing nothing. So definitely talk about it. Ask for advice would be number three. I didn't ask for advice, as I said in the last point. I was scared that asking advice meant that I couldn't do something. And I always thought, in my mid-20s, I was like, if I ask for help, that means I'm not skilled enough and I don't know what I'm doing. That's not true. Asking for advice means that you're asking someone that's more skilled in something that you can do and that you want to do. It's fine to ask for advice. My whole 20s, I would just be like, nope, not going to tell anyone, not going to talk to anyone, not going to ask anyone any help. It's silly. People know the world and know the skill you want to have or the skill you do have better and can help you be better. So I definitely think you should ask for advice. Fourth, practice. Before I got onto TV, before I was doing lives, before I was doing, live TV and broadcasts and radio and all these things, I practiced. I started a vlog and I was vlogging with my iPhone because I didn't have a professional camera. And I kind of wish that I did have a professional camera, but I couldn't afford it. But it didn't stop me. I was still like, you know what? I was still like, I want to do this, and to do this, I need to prove that I can do it. A lot of people were like, cool, you want to be on TV, but, you need to prove it. So I started vlogging, and that helped me practice. It helped me practice talking to people, interviewing people, getting to know people. Definitely keep practicing. And number five, keep building. I did not start off knowing anything. I didn't know anyone in the industry, whether it was in fashion, TV, film, direct. I didn't know anyone at all. But I kept building. I built my networks. I started following people on Instagram that I respected and kind of wanted to be like and wanted to sort of, go in that same career path. I researched and I kept building. I went from, being a fashion stylist to being on the radio, to then being on TV, then to building a documentary, then to getting to where I am now. So I definitely say that you should just keep on building your skills because eventually it will work. I hope that's helpful and I hope that you can take something away from it. and I hope that you follow your dream too. Thank you. Bye.